I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded today. Also pay respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to any other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be listening today. This is Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast designed to give an insightful look into the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties.
And we're black. And we're back.
We are both of those things, actually. Both? Yes, both is good. We are back for the second part of our Culture Shock episode because we just had so many things to discuss.
So many.
And we just didn't really want to make... I think if I look at a podcast and it's over an hour long, I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But if you trick me and split it in two, I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah. I too like being split in two.
Like doing gymnastics? Or?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Right, of course.
Yep.
That's but the banana splits.
The banana splits. Split the atom. Go see Oppenheimer. Never mind. Now, I got to ask you, since we're talking about retail.
Yes.
How do you find the customer service here?
What customer service? I realize how shady that sounds, but I will not redact.
Baby,
I will not redact.
That is my same exact viewpoint.
I feel like the way you've built that, you've got a story. I feel it in my bones.
I'm trying to be,
Oh, well, if you want to, I can talk about the customer service so I don't seem super shady and then just stop talking about it.
No, I am happy. Because it's real. And it's like, and we get it. We get the reason for it is because people are paid a livable wage here. Yeah. So if you have a problem, that is your problem.
Yes.
I will never forget when I went to the mall because I was getting a bronzy pineapple engraved for my best friend Shannon. Shouts to her. And I wanted to get something engraved before flying back to
like when people bronze shoes and things?
I didn't bronze a pineapple. No, it was a really cool, it was a little vase and you could take off the top of it and you can drink out of this pineapple. What are those drinks? The Moscow mules are drunk.
Oh,
but it was in the shape of a pineapple.
The copper tins.
Like a copper, it was a copper thing in the shape of a pineapple. And I wanted to get it engraved so she can keep it in her house and stuff. And, ended up going to Northland Mall on a Saturday. It was maybe all of 3 p.m. Walk in. I'm like, hey, dude. I walk up to the engraving place.
Hey, dude. That's
and
how you started it?
I did because
I wouldn't have served you either.
Because this man was mad casual because he was sitting there with his feet up, crossed, reading a book. And I was like, all right, let me try and be as non-confronting
Hey, dude, can you do your job?
I was like, hey, dude, I just needed to get a quick engraving on this if I could. That would be great. He looks at me, closes his book, puts it down, stands up, looks me dead in the eye, and is just like, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't fucking feel like doing it. And that is legitimately verbatim what he said to me. And I had never felt more American in my life.
Oh, you're like, I need to speak to your manager.
I was like, I have $1 and you don't want to take the $1 for the business? Like, you don't want to take it? And he's like, you can come back tomorrow. But I'm here now. But he was not going to do it. And the mall didn't even close until malls close early here. That's another thing.
Yes.
That's another thing. I can't believe the mall closes at 5 o'clock on the weekend. That's so stunning.
Don't go to Perth then, because everything closes before then.
Okay, no thanks. Shouts to Perth. No, but
we just lost our Perth listeners.
We did. We just lost. They just hit stop. They're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. But but he was just not going to do it because he didn't feel like doing it. And that's very much the attitude here, where it's just if you have a problem, that is your problem. That is not on the, person providing the service to figure it out.
You can be upset as you like, but my check will still be the same.
Correct.
Either way.
Correct.
And if that had ever happened to me, I would just been honestly, respect. I would have been upset, but I'm like, what do you?
Listen, what else was I supposed to do?
And he was like, oh, okay.
What else? I know, and I was just like, oh my God! But I just knew.
I guess she's gonna get some bronze shoes instead.
Listen, I just had to give her the pineapple unengraved, and it wasn't. But she still loved it. But it was still I just couldn't believe it. That was just my first brush with the customer service here. And then even one day when we were moving into our old spot in Ivanhoe, the family before us, they didn't want cable in. They didn't want their children watching TV, so they had it uninstalled from the house, so we had to get it reinstalled when we were moving in. Had somebody come out. We're like, they start to drill a hole. The guy's like, I gotta go get something out of my truck. And we're like, okay, cool. It was a 30-degree day that day. So it was like, which is like roughly 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
It was hot. This man walked outside, felt how hot it was, and he never came back. He was supposed to get something from his truck to finish installing the cable, but I know that man walked outside, felt the heat, and was like, I'm just going to go get a beer.
What if he melted? I mean, what if you melt? Like, there are plenty of times in Texas where you could actually fry an egg on a sidewalk. And Australia's sun is aggressive. Like, you think Texas is bad. There would be times you can stand in the sun, like, you just got bitch slapped. Like, you didn't do anything. I'm like, what happened?
The sun here is really, really shocking. That's not culture, but that was definitely a culture shock.
I mean, my culture was shocked about. Like, I have dark skin, and I've never been sunburned, but except once here. My entire life, I've never been sunburned where I peeled, except here.
Usually, black people, we have a deal with the sun.
It's like, hey, the equator was here. This is where we were made.
This is where we were made.
We're used to you. We discussed this. Like, this was it's my shield. Like, I don't need sunscreen. Like, but now you do.
Now you do, because the sun here is racist. That's right. I said it. That's right.
Are you going to give us some receipts on this one?
Or
are you going to say Google it?
Well,
Google it.
Google it.
Top search. Is the sun racist?
Is the sun racist? And I feel like it is, because it was burning my black ass when I was out there. And I was just like, girl, I thought we were friends. But she's like, no. Yeah.
I can't. No. But the customer service thing I want to come back to, because the reason I was being super shady about it doesn't exist is when I moved here, I wanted to be a bartender, because Coyote Ugly made me think that bartending seemed so cool, and I wanted to be that. So I wanted to work at a gay bar, having a little banter, just flirting with people, because flirting is fun. Flirting and networking
it's cardio.
There's exactly. There's a thin line between the two of them, and I can't actually see the line between the two. I really have no idea. So whenever I wanted to be a bartender, I got a job at a local cabaret bar on a very gay street in Melbourne.
Cute.
And in that time period, I'd be very attentive. I'd be getting to know people, like the regulars. I got to know their orders, and they started tipping me. I think people heard my American accent, and they felt obligated. Like, I was giving them this full service. They started tipping me. And Joanne the scammer taught me the best. I'm going to capitalize on that.
That's right.
So when I start seeing people would tip me, they would get served first. They would be getting extra smiles, and I put the charm on. Add a little bit of riz to it, because I'm like, I've got bills to pay. Yes, you pay me a good wage, but I have more bills than that.
Oh, that's right. And people don't tip here. Tipping. This is not a tipping culture. So the fact that you were getting tipped, you were doing it.
Oh, I was absolutely doing it. When I realized that it wasn't tipping culture, because one of the things some people, whenever they ask me, oh, it's so expensive, they're afraid of the flight, they're afraid of these things. But one, the conversion rate is different. The Australian dollar, the American dollar to Australian dollar is $1 Australian dollar is 67 cents right now. It fluctuates. So I tell people, you get a 30% discount when you come here.
Correct.
You don't have to pay taxes. If a shirt is $30, it is $30.
What you see on the price tag is what you pay at the register.
It's not $33. It's not this. It's not that. And there's no tipping. A
99-cent can of Arizona iced tea would be 99 cents if they had that here.
Yes, and they do have it here, but it's $20. At the American food store. Yes.
$20 for some Arizona iced tea?
Not literally $20, but it's $5.
I'm going to Google it, but
Yeah, but no, the conversion rates, no tipping, and the taxes already included, you're going to have a good deal when you come here. So whenever I was bartending, and I was like, yes, I know that people don't tip here, so I'm going to give them the kind of American service that I'm used to seeing. And by doing that, I was not...
Eye contact.
Greeting. Smiling. Hello. Assisting people.
Not telling them to fuck off.
And it's not saying you don't want to do the job you're being paid for. But for me, that was one of the things, customer service, I capitalized on that. And I think in a lot of the jobs that I got, I could be America lazy, but be Australia productive. And that would get me promoted. That would get me
I love that.
All these jobs I got. And I am a lazy person. I will think smarter, not harder. And that has gotten me rewarded so many times in the career field, in every space.
It's
I love that difference. So if you're trying to come to Australia, just come. You're oh, I can't do this, can't do that. You should just do it.
Just do it, babe.
Just absolutely do it. Mm-hmm. But I think that was my main thing about customer service. It doesn't exist because they're just doing their job and they clock out and they're done.
That's
Good for
it.
you. Love that. We're so used to the opposite. It was
Totally.
You have to go above and beyond. The customer's always right. Everything's this, everything's that.
Absolutely, because you need every dollar.
And it's exhausting to be on the receiving end of that.
Of course.
So, but it's not a thing here.
It's not a thing here. Yeah. Don't blame him.
However, on, I guess, the opposite side of that, it's still kind of in the retail vein, shopping here.
Shopping here. It's a bit of a...
Yeah. Are we being politically? I'm trying to
I know, because we really do enjoy living here and the beautiful quality of life that it provides. But some things are just not made easier here. And shopping can be really difficult because the prices of things are so high for a very not high quality item.
One of my favorite examples is like Converse. Like, if I want to buy just a regular standard pair of Converse, they're probably going to be $120.
At least.
And in America, those same shoes would be $30, $40.
If that.
And like even if you do conversion rates, that $120 will still be like $90. So I'm paying twice the price for those shoes. A lot of times whenever I go visit home, like I leave with an empty suitcase or a half empty suitcase. Yeah. Go to Ross. Shout out to Ross because that Ross is my
dress for less. Ross, come on.
Like I looked like the most bougie person. I spent like $3. I'm like, yes. You like my Bucci suit?
Not Bucci.
My Bucci suit.
Bucci.
But it looked good. Like if you squint, if it was in cursive, that B and that G, you can't really tell.
You can't tell.
I'm in that Bucci.
Back up. You too close. You too close to my Bucci.
If you can see this is knockoff, you're way too close to me.
But yeah, it feels like you're able to find like more of those kind of like deals and stuff where it's just like, here, because I remember a pair of like Wrangler jeans, which is like...
Wrangler.
Wrangler.
Yeah.
That's like, you could probably get it at like a Walmart.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's a Walmart? Do they sell like wallpaper or something?
Oh my God, I've never seen that before. Did they sell walls there or something? And a pair of Wrangler jeans, which would probably cost you maybe $20 in a Walmart. And they're on sale here for $116.
Yeah, it
upwards
is
of $120.
And like even
it's just like, it's not the best quality.
And similar with the alcohol thing, the import tax just absolutely ruins them. And stores like Ross don't really exist. We have TK Maxx, which is just TJ Maxx for our Americans listening. Yeah. I think it's the UK that changed to TK Maxx. They have another thing called TJ Maxx there. Okay. So TK Maxx is from the UK, and obviously this is Commonwealth, so they've got that. But even TK Maxx, like they've got deals better than other places, but I went and paid $25 for a candle at TK Maxx. It's hundreds of dollars at other places. The neighborhood I live in has a lot of boutique things. There's a place called Atticus Finch, I think, and it's very much To Kill a Mockingbird. I walked in there, I was like, oh, these things look really cute. I saw some candles. I opened it like, oh, that smells really nice. I looked at the price tag, and it's $70 for this candle that allegedly burns for 20 hours. It's like, I'm literally burning money. And if I had done the math, I think that's what, $3.50.
Oh my God, that's literally what a candle is literally burning.
You're literally burning money. So that's why I want to get the cheapest candle. Like, this smells nice, but I'm not going to be actively thinking about your smell all of these hours it's burning.
I'll save my comments.
No,
but
there's no kids here. There's no children present.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, but yeah, no, it's like I'm paying for the scent.
Yes, you were paying for the scent that will go away.
That will go away. That will not last forever.
I can't, like, I had a candle phase, actually, during the lockdowns. I had a lot of phases with the lockdowns.
Oh, my God. I think I'm still in a candle phase. Like, I'm just going to be. It was
just like, there was my candle era, there was my records, like, my vinyl era. Shopping is very difficult. The import prices, everything is just, they pay you more, people have a better quality of life, but also it kind of balances out in the shopping of things.
Totally.
For me.
Undoubtedly. Yeah, it's just like that, and then shipping times with things.
Shipping prices for things.
And shipping prices for things. If you end up having like an event that you want to go to, a costume party or something like that,
we have a lot of those.
You have to start, which they call fancy dress. They call it fancy dress here. They don't call it costume parties. They call them fancy dress.
I did forget about that, and I was very confused the first time I tried to show up in a suit, and everyone's in like clown costumes. I'm like, I hate clowns, so I was like, I'm leaving. Clowns and people in costumes where you can't see their faces.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, unless they're a cute octopus at the aquarium.
I swear he was a squid, but either way. Well, I guess are we just gonna leave that there? Okay. Well, so we went to a charity event around this time last year, actually, where we were dressed up as Barbs.
We were.
We were dressed up in pink, and we were doing the whole thing. And one of my friends was like, I think he was a manager of the event company or a manager at the venue. And we were walking up, we were looking all cute, and there's this man in a suit. Well, there's this person in a suit. You can't really see the gender from the purple.
Could not.
There were 8. It could have been 8 penises. I don't actually know.
He could have had a slot or something. Maybe he could have popped it out.
Did you? I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna keep.
It could have been a furry costume.
I'm gonna keep pushing through.
Okay, fine.
I'm pushing through.
Fine.
I'm not doing it.
Once again, I'm being judged for my ideas.
Not judged, just censored. So this man in this costume's like, it's like he calls my name, and anyone who knows me, my fight or flight response is instant.
Yes.
My fight or flight response is instant. Like, this doesn't make sense. Which way what's the opposite direction I can be going? So this man, the costume's like, oh, hi, Richard. And I'm like, nope. And I turn around and I'm getting.
I too was terrified in that moment because I didn't understand what was happening.
However, Nicole stood still, as she always does.
I
in
do.
These flight responses.
I have mine set up like a deer. I'll just stand there and just wait and brace for impact. I don't know what else to do. I just accept my fate.
My favorite fight or flight, or I guess non-flight response for you was we were heading back to your house. It was nighttime. We were walking, and off to the left there was this closed garage door, and there was like this banging coming from around the garage.
That's right. We heard a boom.
And I took off running.
Took the F off. Like, there was like a dust trail behind him. All he said was, nope. And then just took off running. And I was just dying.
Nicole was laughing.
At the quickness. I was dying at the quickness. I couldn't believe it.
No,
I couldn't even process it. I couldn't even process the information that fast. But you had already made up your mind.
I will never be the one to die. I will never be in a horror movie because I'm like, oh, what's happening? Absolutely not. You want to go to Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Pass. Hard pass. Actually, speaking of that, a culture shock for me was anything that's not an A-list black movie, you cannot see it here.
Oh,
like, it takes forever.
It
like
really,
Black Panther,
it is really tough.
Little Mermaid, they were everywhere.
Yes.
But trying to see The Woman King.
The Woman King, we had to,
We waited a good 6 months for The Woman King.
We sure did.
The Blackening.
The Blackening hasn't come out here yet.
I don't do horror, but I want to see that because it looks like the best spoof since the Scary Movie.
I cannot wait for you to watch it so we can discuss it. It's so much fun.
And like I want to see it in theaters. Like, I want to support it because like that's what if we don't support it, it won't happen again.
Correct.
But it also, because there's not really a large black population, they don't see an audience for it. Like, The Woman King started doing really well, so that's when they brought it in 6 months later. And then it finally got to China like a few months after that. So like, if we are like right next to China, who censors a lot of their content, they must not see a need for it. And like that's one of the things.
I think that's what it is because they have the new movie out called They Cloned Tyrone.
Yep.
And I don't think we're gonna get it.
Oh, we're not. Oh, it's gonna go to Netflix. It's only going to theaters so they can get Oscar nominated.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, by all means, they got to do it. They have to do. But it would be nice if we could,
get them and
get more of those.
So that access to like just black products in general was what I like. But circling back to the shipping.
I know. I was going to say, I was going to bring it back. I was wondering if we were going to bring it back to that. But circling back to the shipping, it's just you have to plan your shit out at least 4 to 6 weeks in advance in order to have something arrive on time because the shipping is going to be abysmal. Why don't you just pay for express shipping, Nicole? Because you will pay for that express and, baby, it will still take all that time. You paid all that extra money, and it's not going to show up any earlier.
And that extra money is sometimes double.
And that extra money is sometimes double the order.
And it was just like
crazy.
I can't. There's sometimes I'll be placing an order and I'm like, oh, I can do this. And like anytime there's any kind of products, like my family makes hair care products and makes skincare products. Anytime I make that order, the shipping ends up being more than the order itself. So I literally text all my friends like, hey guys, I'm getting some moisturizer. Let's go have these on this shipping because sometimes the shipping will be up to $80 Australian to get it over here. For doing my citizenship, I left my birth certificate at home because even though I'm an adult, I'm not an adult. Like I don't want important documents on me. What if my apartment burns down? Was I born? I didn't want that, but I needed it for my citizenship. So I had to get my sister, shout out to Winter.
Oh, Winter, love you.
Send me my birth certificate and things, but to get it in the express post, like it showed up a day or two later, but I paid $140 to get documents sent from California,
$140,
which is one of the closest locations that we have from LA.
The coast.
It would cost me $140. It got here in a couple of days, which I was very grateful for because, like, if that gets lost in the mail, it's not like I'll buy another one.
Yeah.
No, you will not.
Yeah, you can't buy another birth.
But the fact that you sent me a piece of paper, like a piece of paper was $140 to get, like that. That'll get you. We're not going to sugarcoat it. Shipping will ruin your life.
Shipping will ruin your life, so you got to plan out things ahead, or you got to be crafty and just figure some things out.
Yeah.
But I think it's just such a shock to us because being in America in the age of Amazon, where it's like soon as you think of something, you can go online, you can click a button, and somebody will bring it to your house within 24 to 48 hours. And here, that just does not exist.
Yeah, like there is an Amazon hub, but again, it's not even as fast as that. Like
it's not.
But also, I personally am trying not to buy things from Amazon because mountain. Like, I do like Catch. Catch is
Catch of the day.
Catch.com is basically the Australian Amazon, and a lot of it's local, so like that will come faster. So obviously we can't like spend $1 million, and I'm going to be here for a while, so I do want to like start buying more local things. Yeah. So I think getting into Catch was a good move, because a lot of the things, they're based in Melbourne most of the time, so it's like, cool, this thing will actually show up. But if you're doing international shipping or shopping any kind of way,
totally,
just like you said, a couple weeks, you need to plan in advance.
Literally.
Do you have any more topics that you have?
Let's see. Do we talk about Pink?
Yeah, let's talk about Pink.
Let's talk about Pink. Okay, so for this episode, last and final culture shocks that I experienced upon moving here, that was surprising to me. Very surprising to me. That Pink, the musical artist Pink, is regarded as the epitome of pop star talent here.
That is true. Anytime Pink comes here, she sells out, does multiple shows.
Sells out every show. Can't even find a Pink ticket in town, baby.
Why? Do you know why this is? Because I've heard it, I've noticed it, but it does nothing.
I mean, she came from the States and everything like that, but she was never necessarily dominating in the way that she dominates here. Like, she could drop a song tomorrow.
She found her market.
And people will sing it like it is the hottest heat that they've ever heard. And I think it's probably the combination of, I feel Australians really dig her whole I don't give a fuck what you think of me kind of attitude, because I feel like that was always something that she did. Mm-hmm. Like, she was always very much like, I'm not like these pretty, shiny, perfect girls. Like, I'm very much myself, and I'm flawed, and fuck you if you have a problem with it. And
I liked the Blackpink. Like,
Black.
I like when
that old man with the ming ring.
Yeah, when she was doing like,
got the ching ching.
Do we know where she's from? Because I swear at the start of Pink's career, she was doing an Aquafina, where she had a black scent in some of her songs.
I know. I don't think she had an accent, but they definitely were at the record label like, we're just gonna pretend that you're light skinned. Black. We're just gonna pretend, and we're gonna have most girls and I can't remember. There you go, hauling out the pit to foe, to let you know. There you go. It was actually pretty good.
I don't know what song that is.
It was like her first song. It had like the dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
The first Pink song I know is Let's Get the Party Started, or whatever that one is, from 2001.
Oh, yeah.
Get the party started.
On a Saturday night, everybody's waiting for me to arrive. Sending out the message to all of my friends.
I don't think we can sing any more than that without getting sued.
Don't sue us, Pink. But I do think it's her attitude that I think Aussies, like, they see themselves in that and they dig it, because I feel Australians are very much like, if you don't like us, go fuck yourself. Mm. But I feel like Aussies at the same time can also laugh at themselves.
Oh, absolutely. And like that's one of the things that I really liked. I'm a statistic person, I'm a numbers, I'm a math person. So when we've been getting our viewers, I like to watch statistics of who's listening from where. Specifically, like right now, Australians are out listening Americans 4-1.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the Aussies. So again, appreciate you for laughing, appreciate you for tuning in, appreciate you for joining. But I think it's very interesting just having that mindset, like, because again, that curiosity that they want to have the chat. I'm like, I like when I told you there's some people who've never known any life. Like, well, what is your life like? They were like, they'll listen to a podcast about like the feelings of snakes. So obviously, it was like, and this is what this boa constrictor feels about Tuesdays. Yeah, like, everyone hates Tuesdays. Like, Tuesday is the worst day in the week. Just to be clear, Tuesday is the worst day of the week.
Even Ruby Tuesdays,
especially Ruby Tuesdays. Are you a Ruby Tuesday?
Are you team Applebee's?
Excuse you, Chili's.
Chili's is good. Okay, cool.
Before it closed down, Bennigan's. Bennigan's was my favorite because it was it was like terrible fake Irish thing. I would always get the Shamrock Shake or whatever for my birthday.
Oh my God!
And
stop.
The food dye was not good for you. Like I can assure you.
I can imagine.
I was green.
I couldn't imagine.
My inside was Shrekking it.
Oh, no.
We were Shrekking it up, y'all.
Not on Shrek.
But on music culturally differences, Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue. She's awesome.
I only knew one song from Kylie, and that was "Can't Get You Out of My Head."
Oh man, and that was massive. That is something that will it should get played at every party.
1,000%. But like, between that and obviously Padam Now, which is also international.
That's right. She's still coming. Listen.
But everything
gotta respect it.
Everything in between there, I knew nothing until I got here. One of the there's an event called Bar Kylie. Yeah. That, I think it started. I'm pretty sure it started in Melbourne, and they were already celebrating her decades of hits and things. And the bar I worked at was like a cabaret camp bar, but the owner loved Kylie Minogue. So I learned by proxy who she was, her hits. In my phone now, there's 15, 20 Kylie songs.
Oh, see, I don't even think I know that many, but I believe it.
Before I got here, it was the one. It would have been just the two. If I was still in America, it would have been Can't Get Out of My Head and Padam.
Yeah, and now for me, Can't Get You Out of My Head because that was just so massive. And then It Was Love at First Sight. Yes. Another banger. But then I ended up realizing she came out way before that. She was in the 80s. She was the one who had us doing the locomotion. Yes. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I was shocked.
No, I was today years old when I knew that was it. Because I thought she covered. I thought it was a cover, but I remember someone saying that. But no, she's been doing it. It's always so interesting what does and does not make it to America on the charts.
Totally.
For the longest time, Americans weren't giving Little Mix a chance. Little Mix they were hot everywhere. I came here and it's like, oh, Little Mix is hot, and I go back, it's like, you guys know them? And they're like, who?
Little who?
Yeah, and they're like, oh.
Little Bow Wow? No.
Little Bow Wow, Little Romeo, Little Flip. You was telling me to stop, you did it.
I know. It's just a response, a trauma response.
A trauma response to Little Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow.
Say Little Bow Wow.
You just don't know. I mean, you move so fast across the floor. I mean, you run through my mind like all the time. You the mic, cause you just gotta take. All right, I'm in Harlem Shake. All right, that's enough. Okay. That's enough. But I feel like we could actually talk even more about the difference in musical.
Oh, that's the thing. With Culture Shock, you can't put all of Culture Shock in one episode, 2 episodes, or even this. We just wanted to finish the thought point. But I think every episode we can just do this is a culture shock I've had in media, in the workplace, in these kind of things. For one of my last culture shock things is the work life culture and the unions and the protections. Because right now, a section of my job was just closed down, and we're finding out tomorrow if we have jobs still.
Oh my God!
But in America, I wouldn't be laughing about it on the podcast. I would be crying. I would be panicking. But because I know I'm in a union, and it's gonna be, are we gonna get a new job? Are we getting a payout? If I get a payout, I'm going to Europe.
I know that's right.
I'm dipping. But
Bon voyage.
If this was America, I would be like, oh my God, podcast canceled. Everything. My insurance would be tied to my work.
Correct, exactly. Your health insurance.
And I have Medicare. I'm still going to the doctor as normal. I've got a dentist appointment on Thursday. Mm-hmm. None of my life has really halted. It was a shock, and I'm very unsure of what's happening, but I'm not scared.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things. The job protections are insane here. And
really, really good.
I couldn't see myself doing anything anywhere else because it's incredible.
It's so good.
So it's just there's so many things I can go into thorough detail about that. There's so much culture shock we can address.
Yeah.
I genuinely think we've figured out our first regular segment. I think we just did it.
I think we did it.
You heard it here first, folks. We've got a culture shock segment every single episode.
I think we're gonna have to start off the episode that way.
We're gonna have a little our regular things.
So what have you been shocked about this week, Richard?
Well, personally, I took a nap and I woke up and met Sasha Colby on accident.
Oh, I'm so jealous about Queen Sasha.
Yeah, no, this has nothing to do with culture shock.
Sure doesn't.
Living here, my luck has just increased, just being in the right place at the right time. I'll just be I'm just minding my own business. Oh, hello, Sasha Colby. Can we take a picture together? I made her laugh, so I'm a celebrity now.
She is a bombshell. She's so gorgeous.
And so sweet. It was just amazing.
Yeah, she was really nice.
I think one of the other things that's kind of a similar culture shock is when Sasha was there, she was at a table pretty much as minding her business, just vibing. In America, she was
a regular person.
In America, she would have been swarmed the entire time. She wouldn't have had a chance to relax. People saw her, but people were going away. It was we were telepathically communicating. All right, you guys go, and then we'll go. People were a lot more considerate of her time because I feel in America, when the celebrity's around, you're getting swarmed.
Definitely. I definitely got my picture with her at Hamburger Mary's in WeHo because she was outside smoking a cigarette, and I was like, Sasha!
Yeah. And it was
yeah, and she was really sweet.
And it was a very busy bar as well. So it was just she actually had the opportunity to just vibe and do her own thing. But it was oh, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm oh, absolutely not. We had a laugh, we had a picture. She was taking pictures. I held the flight because it was dim lighting. You got to make sure drag queen is lit.
Come on now.
You got to make sure. And she's like, oh, thanks so much, babe. I'm oh, no worries. Since you're here.
Yeah. Do you mind
to be fair,
picture?
Sasha Colby talked to me first. Everyone, I just want to make sure that's on the record. But I think that could be a fairly good stopping point
I think so.
for our second half of the episode. Like,
I think we
whether
did
it's
good.
I think we did. Like, whether we decide to go crazy on the next one. I mean, I think the next one, for me personally, like, a topic I'm really, really excited to talk about.
Oh, my.
Dating.
Oh, let the games begin.
I would very much like to talk about dating. And, like,
Yes.
if we were to do that episode, would you want to talk about, like, your living in a partnered life here? Would you like just us to bring some guests who also talk about dating in Australia?
I would love to bring in some guests who Americans preferably, so they could talk about the difference between dating Americans and Australians. Because I will certainly have my
American
input on it, because I've dated American men, but I'm now partnered with an Australian man, and the differences. Differences.
Absolutely. So I think that's an episode I've been the most excited about, because, like, a lot of my dates, I'm not really going to give any real teasers away, but a lot of them have fun stories. And
They have fun stories.
There's so many backgrounds, so much juice. I think that might be a 2-part episode as well, because if we have a guest or two, we're going to be talking about things like one of my friends, Rock. Anytime I match with a guy on, like, Tinder or something, I'll go to Instagram. It's like, oh, Rock's a mutual friend. It's like, oh, is this a fetish or a coincidence?
No, the chocolate chasers are out and about.
They're out there. Like, there's fetishization, there's appreciation, there's some weird middle spot. But 9 times out of 10, like, and I'm gonna stop there, because we've had this conversation. It was like, oh, you know so and so? Like, yes, we actually have a group chat. Like, all right, does anyone know this one? Have we had sex with this one? And it's like, I did. Was it good? I was like, all right, unmatched.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
But I
can't
think
wait for us to get into that.
Oh, I'm very excited. So until next time, take care of your holes.
Take care of them, wash them, and don't take on any more than you can handle. I think that's pretty good.
Take a holistic approach to safety. I hate us.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good place to end it.
Oh my God. Well, I'm Rashard.
I'm Nicole.
And this has been Melanated in Melbourne.
This has been Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast that analyzes the Australian lifestyle from the lens of 2 Black American besties. Follow us at Melanated in Melbourne on Instagram and TikTok. If you have any comments or questions you'd like to ask us, then email us at melanatedinmelbourne@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.